All right. This is Paul Gessing with Patrick Brenner for a social distancing update from the Rio Grande Foundation. How you doing, Patrick?
I'm great, Paul. Thanks. How are you?
Well, this week, in fact, today, the chairman of the Senate Finance Committee, moderate Democrat John Arthur Smith, has informed us that the state budget for 2021, the fiscal year that starts at the beginning of July, could be down as much as $2 billion. Folks who may not be aware, the budget of New Mexico, the general fund, is $7.6 billion, at least as passed this legislative session. It was $6.3 billion when Governor Susana Martinez left office. But either way, $2 billion is an incredible amount of money for New Mexico. And it just highlights some of the challenging times ahead for the state of New Mexico, unless a miracle happens in the oil patch and prices get off the $20, essentially that floor where they are right now, which is unprofitable for folks in the Permian Basin. So it's going to be a lot of work for the Rio Grande Foundation ahead of us there, Patrick.
Wow, $20 per barrel. And where was it at the beginning of the year?
The price of a barrel of oil on January the 6th, so not quite the beginning of the year, but it rose a little bit. It was in the mid-60s. It floated downward to the mid-40s by the time the session adjourned in late February. And over one weekend, the price literally went from about $42 to $30. And with all the coronavirus, social distancing, travel plans, commutes, all being canceled, plus the price war from the Russians and the Saudis, who can produce oil at a much lower price and decided to do so in order to regain market share from American frackers, they have further put the price of a barrel of oil downward. Now, can it go much lower than $20? I don't know. This is a game of limbo. I'm not sure anybody in the state of New Mexico wants to see. But the fact is that $2 billion for New Mexico's fiscal year 2021 budget, that's below where Susana Martinez left us, which is really astonishing. I'm sure Michelle Lujan Grisham and the Democrats thought that we had officially left $6.3 billion in the rearview mirror and that we were going to be spending more and more money every year into the future. That is not the case, obviously.
Well, it's a great time for a road trip. Too bad everybody's social distancing.
Exactly. It would be a great time to go on a road trip. And, it is at least a better time to go grocery shopping in the city of Albuquerque and hopefully soon in Bernalillo County in the unincorporated areas. Both of those jurisdictions have plastic bag bans in place. In this case, the counties is more aggressive, dealing with restaurants and restaurant containers like clamshells. You put your enchiladas or whatever in, which has to be really challenging for restaurants in this time of social distancing and not being able to eat in a restaurant. But the city of Albuquerque, due in part to the work of the Rio Grande Foundation, the Keller administration put the plastic bag ban here in Albuquerque on hold for 30 days. They say they're going to reinstate it in 30 days. They say they're going to reinstate it more strictly in 30 days, eliminating some of the thicker plastic bags that are now in use. We've also been in communication with folks at Bernalillo County and are hoping that they will also put the ban that the county has on hiatus. But this has gotten a lot of media coverage. We had an opinion piece in the Albuquerque Journal, of course. The New York Times even caught on to this and cited the Rio Grande Foundation. They ran a very biased piece in which they questioned our funding sources, talked about the Koch brothers, and acted like we were doing this at the behest of some right-wing cabal of libertarians who, the reality is Rio Grande Foundation appreciates individual freedom, and we support people being able to use products and services, especially ones like a plastic bag that can keep you healthy by not spreading viruses and other diseases. When you have these reusable bags brought into supermarkets, they can often spread those, and it's been studied. Even some governors have said you are not allowed to use the reusable bags. Some stores have done that. Starbucks and Dunkin' Donuts have prohibited the reuse of the reusable cups. So at least Albuquerque is catching up, and we'll hope Bernalillo County catches further up too in terms of eliminating the ban, or at least for a time being. But the folks at Western Wire did a much more objective report that was published today at westernwire.com. You can go read their analysis of what happened with regard to plastic bags and the bans here in the city of Albuquerque.
Well, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not like we're not in favor of reusable bags, but we are of the opinion that people should have a choice whether they can use their own reusable bags or whether they can imbibe in the grocery store supply of the thin non-reusable plastic bags. I use non-reusable because I know what you use them for.
Yeah, no doubts. Well, we definitely are in favor of people reusing and recycling where possible, and reuse is even better for the environment than recycling. And we are actually, I think stores should be able to set their own policies. And if stores want to eliminate plastic bags, or if they want to encourage people to use traditional plastic bags, that should be up to the store itself. If they want bag freedom, so to speak, then that's their call as well. But in general, with a lot of these policies that are coming out these days, it should be up to private sector entrepreneurs, businesses, individuals as to what decisions they make. The heavy hand of government often makes the wrong decision, and that's really important to know, especially at a time where we're trying to stop the spread of these viruses. Thanks for checking out this short video. We'll be producing these on a regular basis during this time of social distancing as important news comes out. Find out more about Rio Grande Foundation and its work at riograndefoundation.org or at errorsoфenchantment.com. Send us a note at info@riograndefoundation.org. All right, hopefully that's not too